What's up, guys? You know what time it is? It's combo time. So today, guys, welcome to Team COG. My name is Charles, and we're going to be bringing you some Flame Swordsman Infernoble combos. Essentially, I'm just going to be bringing you two, the standard one-card combo and a two-card combo, which has a lot of different iterations and ways and avenues too. And yeah, for the most part, I actually was really, if you guys have seen my last profile, if you guys have watched some of my live streams, I was really displeased with this engine. I actually didn't like it at all, but I made myself pick it up and I made myself try it, and now I'm a believer, and I actually prefer this over some of the other engines that exist out there. Again, when I look into combo economy, and what I mean by economy is the amount of cards I put into a combo, what do I get out of it, this engine still performs the same, if not better, under 2-card combo or 3-card combo iterations. And what I mean by that is, with the Battle and Boxer Uppercutter, you put in that one card, you get 3 disruptions out of it. Sometimes you get more, actually, because of depending on the package you're playing and the bricks you want to play. But when you put in the one Fighting Flame Swordsman, you only get 1 interruption out of it. But again, you're still breaking even on the amount of cards you put in, so that's where, like, you just kind of got to look over it. I do feel, though, that when you get into 2-card combos, the Flame Swordsman plus any sort of extender or tuner extender is a lot better than the Battle and Boxer, and that's including playing through hand traps and playing through big blowout cards such as Nib and Dark Ruler, more droplets and stuff. There's different layers of disruptions this engine gives you that the Boxers don't. But anyway, without further ado, if you guys really enjoy this type of content and enjoy Infernoble combos and Infernoble videos in general, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you never miss when I upload them or go live and we discuss them live. And if you really want to help the channel, hit that join button, get knighted, become a member, all that fun stuff. I have member-only perks and rewards. In fact, I will show a little quick picture up here. I ended up commissioning a artwork, a Dark Souls-inspired Infernoble themed artwork that is available for members to use and have access to for whatever they choose. And if that's one of the little rewards you get for being a member and supporting the channel, and those type of artworks come out, I'm going to try to do them frequently for the members and stuff like that. So anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump into the combo. So you start out with just the Fighting Flame Swordsman. It's the only card you have in your hand. Let's say you open it plus a plethora of non-engine, hand traps, etc. You're goaded. You opened like 1 Ash, 1 Imperm, 1 Veiler, 1 Moon, Ghost Mourner, Moonlight Chill. So your hand is goaded. So you end up normal summoning out the Flame Swordsman, use its effect to go ahead and grab yourself the Flame Swords Realm. You go and activate the Flame Swords Realm, using its, and then you can go to use its effect to send from hand or field. So in this case, we're going to send the Fighting Flame Swordsman to summon out the Flame Swordsman. Then, on a separate chain, the Fighting Flame Swordsman will allow you to send a card that lists the Flame Swordsman in its text. So you're going to send the Salamandra, or the little dragon. Since this card was sent, you're going to use its effect to add yourself a Salamandra spell or trap. You're going to go ahead and grab yourself the Fusion. Now, you do have the ability to also add the trap, because the trap will be treated as a Book of Moon. So you'd still get to, in this combo sequence, you'd still get to the same amount of disruption. You'd still get to one form of disruption. It'd just be your choice of a pop or your choice of a Book of Moon. We're going to go ahead and go the Salamandra Fusion, equipping it to the Swordsman, and then we'll go ahead and use the Fusion's effect to fuse into our ultimate Flame Swordsman. And then we'll go ahead and use Salamandra's effect to equip, giving it the ability to have be a quick effect and also boost it to 35. So we have a 3,500 attack, pretty much Trident existing right now. So that's off of 1 card. And like I said, like, it's not no crazy combo where you get multiple pluses out of it, but it is something cool. And it is, again, you're not going neg in the terms of combo economy and card economy. You put 1 card in, you're getting 1 interaction, which is still better than putting 2 cards in and getting 1 interaction, or putting 3 cards in and getting 2 interactions. So yeah, so anyway, we'll wrap it up here, and I'll quickly show you guys the 2-card combo and show you why it's so powerful, in my opinion. All right, guys, so the 2-card combo is essentially Fighting Flame Swordsman plus Renault, or access to Renault. Now, there's different variations of this. This variation right here, just being these 2 cards, are the weakest, but you actually have access to Oliver is the same combo sequence. All these cards right here get you to this, essentially. And the best case scenario, it's always the strongest card is Museum. Museum is like the best card to get you to it because of what it does. So for this sequence, we'll showcase you the Fighting Flame Swordsman plus Museum, so you guys can see like what that does to you. But essentially right here, you have all these ways to get to a tuner. Essentially that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to either get to Renault or you're trying to get to Oliver, and that's including, you can also bump up Renault with it being like a superior extender in the deck. You can bump up Renault and increase your chances to get to it there. But then you get like a lot of freestyle stuff when you throw in Oliver, because Oliver plus a discard, whether you be discarding Infernoble names and stuff like that. And again, there's a lot of like variations, right? So like Museum plus Flint Lady gets you in Flint Lady plus like 2-card combos. Flint Lady plus like Durandal gets you into like so many things. Flint Lady plus Museum plus, you know, like you go down to like from the 2-card to 3-card combos. They do get you the same thing. And as long as every inboard ends you onto 4 to 5 disruptions, who cares if your card is a 4-card combo, because you're still coming out in the terms of like combo economy and stuff like that, still coming ahead by 1 disruption to the cards you put in. But there's just different variations, different things. And there's also, like, before people ask, well, how are you seeing this card so much? Well, you play 3 of it, you play 3 of the Fighting Flame Sword, which surges it, and Rhoda, so you technically have 7 copies. And again, in certain hand scenarios, Durandal can grab this in conjunction with Flint Lady, and Flint Lady searchable by, again, Rhoda and other different, like, access to Durandal. So that's essentially just to go and show you why this is, like, super consistent in its way. Now, yeah, there might be some hands where you don't get access to this, which is kind of rough. But for the most part, you're going to have access to it. And then I found in some of the freestyle like type of stuff, you get to do a lot of cool things utilizing Promethean Princess, Cross Sheep, and stuff like that. That it gets you to not just the Flame Swordsman. You're normally able to get to Flame Swordsman plus like Gearfried Flame Swordsman or the Promethean Princess in the graveyard, and just different types of avenues and routes that way. So like you're not just getting to, it's not as bare bones as you think. But essentially, we'll quickly run through this. And this is the best scenario because this gives you essentially 2 museum uses versus 1, and that happens with the, if you see anything but museum to get you access to Renault. But anyway, we'll start out with, we'll go ahead and normal summon out Flame Swordsman. Flame Swordsman's effect is going to search us the Flame Sword's Realm. Flame Swordsman's Realm is also pretty crazy. Essentially, if you open it as well, like you're able to like protect your normal summon. So it just guarantees that this normal summon goes through and the effect goes through. We'll go ahead and activate the museum, take a trip there, and we're going to go ahead and search out our Renault. Now, if you already have Renault, oh, excuse me. I'm skipping a step already. We're going to search out Durandal, and then you're going to go and use Durandal effect to add the Renault. I was already skipping a step as it is. And so you go ahead and special summon out Renault. Renault adds back the Durandal. Something to note, this add back is very important because essentially, if you guys don't know, there's a particular point in the sequence where they have to nib you if they have nib. This combo, this 2-card combo and all of its iterations, minus the, if you just open access to Renault and that's it, like Rhoda or Renault, or Heritage of the Chalice and you just search Renault, you don't go like the long strenuous route, which it's entirely up to you as a player to decide if that's the route you want to go. Because sometimes people are scared of hand traps, stuff like that, so you'd rather fire off Heritage and go ahead and just grab the Renault instead of going through give them more opportunities to hand trap you by going Heritage into Museum, Museum into Durandal into the search. You'd rather just get it over with, or hand dependent, right? But I feel like this beats like Nibiru pretty well, and this combo sequence, this right here will beat Nib and Inperm, depending where they throw it, and I'll discuss that when we get there. So essentially, here we go, add back Durandal, we synchro here for our Angelica. Angelica, we go Chainlink 1, Angelica, Chainlink 2, the Fighting Flame Swordsman. Of course, Fighting Flame Swordsman, like combo number 1, will send the Salamandra. Salamandra on a separate chain then adds. But so we'll send Salamandra, and then we'll grab ourselves our second copy of Museum. And then Salamandra's effect triggers here. Now you have 2 options to add here with Salamandra. You can add Salamandra with the chain if you are not fearing Nib, or you can add the Fusion. The Fusion allows you to play through Nib pretty easily depending on the rest of your hand. So if you guys don't know, we have 2 cards. We have 3 other cards in our hand as long as they're like a monster card. We're doing pretty well. Yeah, any choice to add one of these. There's a pretty cool type of sequence where if you do open another monster, you can add this and you get to end on like 1 more disruption. And again, I'll talk about that. There's a lot of variables in this combo and a lot of avenues and routes you can do. But we'll just keep it simple for now, and we'll just add the Salamandra Fusion here. We'll then go ahead and use the Salamandra's effect to attempt to target Angelica. Then we will chain Angelica to go ahead and summon out Roland and send Ogier. So Angelica flees. She goes and grabs her husband. And we bring out the Infernoble Knight, Roland. We go ahead and use Ogier's effect to equip to the Roland, and then we use the Museum's effect to move forward. Right here is our 5th summon, so if they nib us here, think about what you're going to do, think about how you're going to do it, because since you have access to the 2nd Museum, you can choose what you're going to add back. So like if they happen to Nibiru you here, instead of sending Gearfried, you want to go ahead and send something like Turpin, and then you use the field spell to go ahead, the 2nd field spell to grab Almas or Joyous to add back the Turpin, and then you can pitch it, and then you can go into like Cross Sheep, and then go into Promethean Princess and stuff like that through the Nibiru. But since we're playing like our opponent doesn't have it, you just go ahead and send it here, and then we synchro off here into our Emperor Charles. We'll then go ahead and activate our 2nd field spell, paying 12 again, so we've paid 24, which, again, as long as time in the round isn't close, we're okay. We go ahead and grab ourselves the Almas. You go ahead and equip Almas here, and then we link off here into our Emperor Charles the Great, Charlemagne. We'll go Chainlink 1 Charles, Chainlink 2 Almas. Almas will grab back the Gearfried, and then Charlemagne will equip here. So right here, I talked about earlier how this right here beats Nib and Inperm. So you go ahead and activate Gearfried, so by banishing here. So if they nib here, Gearfried still gets summoned. No big deal, right? But if they're holding Nib and Imperm, they think they're going to get you. This is how you get them. So you summon out the Gearfried, they go Chainlink 1 Nib, you go Chainlink 2 Gearfried, sending the equip, they go Chainlink 3 Imperm, you have the extra Durandal in your hand to send with Charles, because Charles doesn't have to send an equip spell from just the field, it can be hand or field, so you can send the equip spell from your hand that you added back from the start of the combo, negating Nib and Imperm, and then it's business per usual. We get to here, right here, and then this is essentially our end board for the most part. Now this is where you get a lot of the versatility. So if you happen to search out a fusion, the trap card instead of the fusion, you have this, plus you're going to be able to set some things. And if you have any other monster card in your hand, because like I said, essentially you do have 3 other cards, and if any of them is a monster card, which could be a monster card, it could be a searchable monster card, but just for the sake of this combo, since I don't have it right here. So right here, this is where you can get into like more intricate stuff. And this might be a little bit hefty of a video, but this is because this 2-card combo has a lot of different variations, right? So this is our hand. We've essentially gone +1 so far in this hand. If you even count the cards on field, we've gone even more plus. But essentially, if you want to, you can go ahead and fire off the Flamesword's Realm, sending one of the monster cards in your hand to the graveyard. Then you summon out the Flame Swordsman. And then you can just go ahead and use the fusion to go ahead and fuse it off into the ultimate Flame Swordsman. And then there we go. We essentially have that as our disruption. You can go ahead and fire off. You don't really want to fire off anything. You just move to end phase. Charles will equip this, and then grab your choice from the deck. And then whenever you use Roland, make sure Roland equips to this, because Charles doesn't care where the equip happens as long as it happens. So you just make sure Captain Roland equips to the Flame Swordsman to make it a quick effect. So then your end board is something of a spell and trap negate, a monster negate, a pop, and then the ultimate Flame Swordsman. So you end on 4 disruptions through 2 cards, so you like doubled your card economy in a sense, or combo economy in a way. But if you go back, okay, and this is where we get kind of like crazy and stuff like that. If you happen to, instead of adding the equip spell, you add the trap. This is where you kind of get into like, your turn would end here, bringing back Angelic and equipping, setting the Salamander with Chain. But there is another way to get an additional disruption. You go and activate the Flame Swords Realm, but pitching here to go ahead and summon out the Flame Swordsman. And you just do this to keep this out here for now, and I'll explain why. In phase, this happens. Of course, Charles equips. In this scenario, actually, you would have to... Oh, no, Charles can equip from the hand the Durandal. I knew I was missing it. Durandal, and then it can equip from the deck. And it's very important that you equipped the Fighting Flame Swordsman in this particular line. So now this is our end board here. So you're probably wondering, well, what's this guy doing out here? What's this going to get us? So if you guys are not familiar, I'll go ahead and explain it. So during the opponent's turn, you flip over Salamander with Chain. You end up equipping it, which can also trigger Charles, but also Books of Moon something. So then when the opponent activates something, a monster effect, or a spell or trap, Charles and Gearfried send equip spells. So it doesn't matter the order. We'll just say they activate a spell card Rhoda. Go ahead and send the Ultimate Flame Swordsman using Charles. The effect of the Flame Swordsman triggers, and you get to send in a card that lists Fighting Flame Swordsman. So you send the Fighting Flame Dragon from your extra deck, because it can send from main or extra. Then something else happens. You go Gearfried effect, negate and destroy with Salamandra. Now on resolution, you go Salamandra's effect, you banish it, and you fusion summon using these 2 cards from field or grave to go into your Ultimate Flame Swordsman. Because I'm going to read you real quick Salamander with Chain. It says that you can banish this card from your graveyard, since it's a trap, it's a quick effect. Fusion 1 Fire Warrior or Dragon Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling materials from your hand, field, or graveyard into the deck, but destroy it during the end phase. Which also makes me wonder why, like, we're going to be able to get something kind of cool eventually, because it says from hand, so like we don't have a lot of cards we can fusion from the hand. So it just thinks we lose it during the end phase, which I think is a horrible drawback, but we do get that extra form of disruption this way. So then we get to this point, you still have Roland's effect in the graveyard to be able to equip to this right here to allow us to get an additional pop. So if you open this way and you decide to grab for the trap, you are able to get to this particular end board. So it gives you one more additional disruption, because you had a monster effect negate with Gearfried, a spell and trap negate. You have a pop here. You had a Book of Moon with the Salamander with Chain, which gives you 4. And then this right here will give you 5 forms of disruption. You're able to interact with 5 cards your opponent has. So yeah, that's it for this combo, guys. Like I said, the worst combo sequence of this is seeing just like the Renault plus that, but that just gets you to the field spell essentially. And if you happen to open again like any monster discards, it can get you to Gear-free Charles. Actually, you know what? We'll just go quickly show you what happens when you just see just Renault. Okay, guys, I figured might as well just show you, like, I showed you the best case scenario if you open the Flame Swordsman plus the best card. I might as well show you the Flame Swordsman if you open the worst card, which just in this case happens to just be it plus Renault. So you end up just normal summoning out the Flame Swordsman, and then you use its effect to go ahead and grab you the Flame Swords Realm. And this, what I like about this card is it does give you access to, like, get, like, other names into your graveyard, like Turpin, your Ricciardetto and stuff like that. So that's why this card's, like, really insane. It's also a good hold because, like I said, this allows you to play through Nib. So you go ahead and start something out Renault. Again, since we don't have an equip to grab back, this is just using Renault as its ability to be a tuner. We synchro here for Angelica. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Chainlink 2, we'll go ahead and send the Salamandra and grab ourselves the Museum. Salamandra will then grab you, again, depending on your... Again, it's just, this is where it comes up to player preference. Where'd it go? I must have put it back in the main deck. You had all the cards, like, set out and sorted and stuff like that, and that didn't happen. So you either go for these two here, choose dependingly. I'm always going to probably play game 1 and under the presumption that they don't have Nib, so that way I just can go ahead and just grab the chain. But if you want to always be protected by Nib and just kind of be worried, because, like, there's different ways to search this card. You can search it, not only can you search it by, like, the Flame Swordsman, you can search it by the Fighting Flame Sword quick play spell, because since it lists the Fighting Flame Swordsman in its name, it's searchable that way, whereas, like, Chain isn't. So, like, again, if you open any of these cards happen to be, like, the quick play spell, or you already opened, like, the Flame Sword Realm, you can go ahead and grab this, because you'll get access to this by a different way. But we'll just go ahead and add the Fusion. Now we go ahead and activate this, pay 12 to go ahead and search out our Almas. We can go ahead and use effect of the Salamandra to equip to Angelica, chain Angelica, to go ahead and summon out Roland, and then we go ahead and send our Ogier. We'll then go Ogier's effect to equip, Museum's effect to move forward, and then effect to send Gearfried. Again, if they decide to nib you here, because this is your 5th summon, you can adjust your plays accordingly, because then you're pretty okay. Especially in this scenario here, where you happen to have a monster to discard. Like, you play through Nib here like it's butter. Like, you cut through Nib like butter. But assuming they don't have it, we're also still going to get to the same point like I said last time. Now, if you open all spell cards, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't open any way to, like, you don't have monsters, it's a little bit more brutal. But again, like, use statistics and probability to think it out. You know, like, should you see a monster? Yes. If Ash is your only monster you're seeing, you got to think, is this one Ash worth it versus the pop that you get with the Flame Swordsman? So anyway, go here. We equipped here to Charles, and then we link off here into Emperor Charles, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, to grab back. Oh, actually, we goofed. We goofed. Okay. So this is where actually use Almas to go ahead and grab yourself Joyous. And then this is where Joyous comes up. You use Joyous effect to go ahead and grab yourself back. Since we didn't have access to Durandal, we got to have that extra equip name that we get access to. So then we go Roland effect to equip the Charles, and go up here into the Emperor. Oh, he's right there. So we go ahead and make the Emperor, and then effect of the Emperor to go ahead and equip OG Charles. So now, very similar to before, you fire this off by banishing Joyous, because Almas is just better in a way, to summon out Gearfried. If they nib you here, you still get Gearfried, and then you have the ability to move forward with the Flame Swords Realm. But we summon here, and there we go. And then again, if you added the trap card, your inboard would be something like this. You could do what I showed you in the previous combo. You can set this, and then you can go like Flame Sword Realm, and then in phase equip, so then you get more, right? So that's if you add the chain. But again, you lose the nib a little bit harder because you added chain and not the fusion. So this right here just strengthens your inboard, whereas maybe game 1, you're going first, you go with chain because you know that nib is probably a post side card, but then, again, it just depends on your paranoia of nib, right? So I don't know. Sometimes I'm kind of paranoid of nib. Sometimes you read nib, so you just go for the chain. But again, if you want to continue further, you can go the Flame Swords Realm, pitching the monster card in your hand. If you don't have a monster card, your board ends here. Maybe that's something to consider when adding the fusion and the chain. If you open like 3 crossouts, there's no point adding the fusion. Might as well just add this. So like that's one of those variants where like there's no option. Like if you add the fusion, you're not being proactive in making your inboard better. You're literally just sitting there hoping to lose to a hand trap. So anyway, pitch one of your monsters. Go ahead and summon out the Flame Swordsman. Then you can go fusion. And then this is something very interesting here. When you equip fusion to here, go ahead and use Charles' effect to pop the Swords Realm. You want to clear up space. Then you use fusion's effect to go ahead and fuse on off into the ultimate Flame Swordsman. Then you can go, I think, yeah, that's about it. Sweet. In face, Charles will equip here. And then you can go ahead and equip from the deck your choice. In the sense of you want to get like good combo economy and get some cards back, you go and equip Malgus. You could have potentially, now that looking at it, you could have kept out the Flame Sword realm, but I was thinking we were going to lose it. So a 2.5 card combo, that's essentially a 3 card combo. Let's just show you like all the different variations and ways that can happen here. But anyway, yeah, so this is pretty wild. If you think about it, you have a monster negate, or excuse me, I'm pointing to, you have a monster negate, a spell and trap negate, and a pop. You have the, and this card, if it be destroyed by battle or card, if it be destroyed once, you can send fusion too, so it's like protected by destruction, so Lightning Storm can just get yoinked. You're getting a draw, and you're getting another pop, and then this is where like you can do some pretty cool things. Like Roland can be in like this scenario, we'll have to equip here, right? So like it triggers that, but like in some instances, if you wanted to, you can also like use Roland proactively to target here if you want. There's actually, believe it or not, since I have everyone here, on this video, we'll actually do a different sequence where instead of equipping the gear or equipping the Malgus, you equip the Fighting Flame Sword, and then when you negate with it, you send it to the graveyard, and this sends the Fighting Flame Dragon. So then you can use Fighting Flame Dragons as a quick effect to equip to here. This could also trigger Charles. So now that this is a quick effect, and then you can hold your Roland and use Roland's effect to equip to Angelica, and then chain it to send the Malgus to get a draw. So it just allows you to use Angelica a little bit more proactively instead of just hanging out here. And you get to draw. You get like to use max benefit here. Because the only thing this is doing is preventing Charles from being destroyed by battle. And Charles is already going to be 4,000. So like the likelihood of them attacking over it is going to be pretty slim. But all this is like dependent too. Like your opponent may activate cards or effects that force your response or force your hand. So like you have to like, you know, based on judgment and stuff like that, do your plays and like counteract them. But that is definitely a different sequence you can do. To ensure that you get to use max potential of Angelica and stuff like that. But anyway, that's it for the combo video, guys. If you guys want to see more combos and tutorials and stuff like that, comment down below. Actually, comment down below if you guys have found any unique combo lines with the Flame Swordsman stuff. And yeah, like I said, as soon as, if you guys didn't see my stream, I said that if the wanted package survives the list, I'll probably pick up the wanted package because I feel like the wanted package along with this stuff is just a lot better. It gives another engine for you to bridge your Infernobles and your Flames, or bridge your Flame Swordsman into your Infernobles with. With OSS potentially being hit, I didn't want to go spend money on it. So even if it is like, I'm not just going to buy it and then the ban list come out and then I get it in the mail, I just have to sit and stare at it. So yeah, anyway, guys, please thank you. Please stay safe. And also thank you for your guys' support and everything. This is Charles from Team COG signing out.